On June 17, 2014, inside a courthouse in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 12 jurors sat silently. For 3 years, this town had defended one man. They defended him in church halls, at kitchen tables, inside police stations. They all said the same thing. He's not capable of this. But at 10:42 that morning, one sentence ended the debate. Guilty, not because of rumors, not because of suspicion, but because one small piece of evidence finally spoke. Lancaster County is a place built on trust. People wave at passing cars. Neighbors know each other's names. And when something goes wrong, the instinct is to protect what feels familiar. In 2011, violent crime was rare here. Murder was almost unheard of. So when Emily Parker disappeared, no one looked for a predator. They looked for an explanation. Emily Parker was 28 years old. She worked at a dental office in downtown Lancaster City. She was saving for a home, planning a wedding, talking about children. On September 12, 2011, at 8:46 p.m., Emily clocked out of work. She sent her sister a text. "Leaving now. See you tomorrow." Emily never made it home. The next morning, her car was found parked neatly outside her apartment. Doors locked. No damage. Her purse still inside. Inside her apartment, everything looked normal. Lights on. Dinner untouched. Her phone placed carefully on the kitchen counter. Emily never went anywhere without it. That's when police realized she didn't leave voluntarily. Michael Turner was 42 years old, a volunteer youth baseball coach, a church deacon, a husband, a father of 2. He worked as a maintenance supervisor at Emily's apartment complex. He had keys, access, and trust. When police spoke to him, he was calm, helpful, comforting. He joined search parties. He spoke to Emily's parents. And when his name surfaced quietly among investigators, the town reacted immediately. They defended him, because men like Michael Turner weren't supposed to be capable of murder. But evidence doesn't care who you are. Detective Aaron Whitmore had been on the force for 18 years. He knew the hardest cases weren't the ones with no suspects. They were the ones where the suspect didn't feel like a suspect. Michael Turner sat across from him. "You really think I'd hurt Emily?" Michael asked. Whitmore didn't answer, because belief doesn't outweigh facts. Access logs from the apartment complex showed something disturbing. On September 12th, at 9:07 p.m., Emily Parker's apartment door unlocked. The key used belonged to Michael Turner. Michael smiled. "These systems glitch," he said, "but they didn't glitch like this." Security footage showed Emily arriving home at 8:58 p.m. Michael's truck entered the lot 5 minutes later. There was no maintenance request, no emergency, no reason for him to be there, except opportunity. As word spread, the town pushed back. Church leaders held meetings. Neighbors wrote letters. Parents demanded answers. They said police were targeting a good man. Even some officers felt uneasy. Michael wasn't an outsider. He was familiar, and familiarity delayed justice. In March of 2012, without a body, without witnesses, Emily Parker's case was downgraded. Inactive. Her sister Rachel refused to accept it. She studied phone records, mapped timelines, and noticed something police missed. Emily's phone connected to her home Wi-Fi network at 9:02 p.m. She made it inside. Something happened after. Months later, tenants complained of a foul smell near a maintenance storage area. It was dismissed. No report was filed. No search conducted. At the time, no one connected it to Emily. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly. In May of 2013, a new detective joined the Lancaster Police Department. Her name was Lena Morales. She came from Philadelphia. She didn't know the town. She didn't know Michael Turner. And that mattered. Morales was assigned one cold case. Emily Parker. She read the file once, then again. And by the third read, one thing became impossible to ignore. Emily's phone. Phone data showed Emily's device stopped registering movement at 9:14 p.m. Not gradually, not naturally, suddenly. Morales had seen this pattern before. In violent confrontations, phones stop moving at the moment control is taken away. That night, Emily lost control of everything. Morales requested the evidence inventory. There wasn't much, but one item caught her attention. A single dark carpet fiber, recovered near Emily's bedroom doorway. It had never been tested. When lab results came back in July of 2013, the fiber matched industrial carpeting, the same type used in only one place at the complex, the maintenance storage room. With a warrant, police reopened the area. Fresh paint covered the walls. New concrete lined the floor. Everything looked too clean. Cadaver dogs were brought in. They alerted immediately, right at the floor drain. Beneath the concrete, investigators found biological material. Blood, hair, bone fragments. Testing took weeks. On September 4th, 2013, results confirmed the truth. The remains belonged to Emily Parker. Mixed with her DNA was Michael Turner's. The man everyone defended was arrested that afternoon. No protests. No speeches. Michael Turner's arrest didn't bring peace. Under interrogation, Michael tried to explain. Some people felt betrayed. Emily threatened. Others felt angry. He said many refused to believe the evidence. It was an accident. They said the confession included details they said police that had never been someone to blame. Details but evidence only the killer would know. For the first time since Emily disappeared, the trial began on March 3rd, defending 2014. The prosecution laid out a timeline built on facts. Access logs, phone data, DNA evidence, forensic reconstruction. The defense leaned on one thing: Michael's reputation. Witness after witness testified. Experts explained how Emily's phone stopped moving, how the key logs worked, how concrete had been poured over biological evidence. The story became unavoidable. Then came the final reconstruction. Emily arrived home at 8:58 p.m. Michael arrived minutes later. By 9:14, her phone went silent. Forever. The defense had no explanation for the fiber, no explanation for the DNA, no explanation for the concrete. On June 17, 2014, after 3 days of deliberation, the jury returned. Michael Turner was found guilty of second-degree murder and abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to 40 years to life. No one celebrated. Justice didn't feel victorious. Felt heavy. Emily Parker was laid to rest 1 week later. Her sister spoke publicly for the first time. She said, "Believe evidence, not appearances. Justice doesn't end when a verdict is read. Sometimes, that's when the reckoning begins." In the months after Michael Turner's conviction, Lancaster County changed. People stopped saying, "He would never do something like that." They started asking a harder question. How did we miss it? Police departments across the region reviewed cold cases. Training manuals were rewritten. Bias, unspoken, unchallenged, was finally addressed. The case didn't just expose a murderer. It exposed how easily familiarity can blind judgment. Emily Parker's name became more than a headline. It became a reminder that victims disappear twice. Once when the crime happens, and again when they aren't believed. Her sister Rachel kept Emily's phone. It never rang again, but it changed everything, because it proved something crucial. Emily made it home, She trusted the wrong person. Years later, Michael Turner remains incarcerated. He still claims he never meant for it to happen. But intent doesn't erase outcome. Evidence doesn't care about excuses. Emily Parker's story is now taught in forensic training programs, not as a mystery, but as a warning about trust, about assumptions, about what happens when belief replaces proof. Everyone defended him, until one piece of evidence refused to stay silent. If you did find this video intriguing, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating true crime stories, and do well to tap the next video on your screen. See you on the next.